Trade deadline day for MLB. This is like Christmas for Pirates fans if we got to trade our presents that we know are going to be awesome for 3 of the toys in plastic capsules that come out of a gumball machine next to trashy tramp stamp tattoos that are made for kids and probably account for a large amount of our current microplastic intake. Happy deadline day. We'll go over all of the major trades that occurred and what happened in the league over the past week, including possibly the best offensive game by a player in the history of the sport. We get the skinny on the NBA. There's going to be a porta potty on the Colorado sidelines, and we have to wait no longer for NFL football. The preseason has started with the Hall of Fame game. This is number 164 of H&P. Let's get busy. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis. Okay, I was going to record this on Wednesday before the deadline happened, but I was like, no, that doesn't really make any sense. I'll just wait till Thursday after the deadline's over. And then also last night, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse, and it was free, motherfucker. Let's go on the bus. I had a great time. Definitely appreciate that. The picanha, the pork ribs, the fried pork ribs. They had roasted pineapple with cinnamon and sugar on it on the outside. Oh, so good. If you've never been to a Brazilian steakhouse, I 100% recommend going. I don't know if I went to Fogo de Chao when I was doing no, there's no way. I went to Fogo de Chao before the podcast started. So I probably have told RJ about it, but yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast before. If you haven't been to one, it's awesome, and I definitely got my $50 worth of just meat, no sides other than the pineapple. I definitely felt like a fat ass last night after I was done. And speaking of fat asses, is this the fat ass that Nico Harrison traded away? Dude is skinnier than Aaron Judge right now. He reportedly went down from 265 to 230, and Luka is looking svelte. Oh my God. Why does he look like a European music producer or a tennis player of some sort? It's the glasses. All right, well, that was it for the NBA. And in the intro, I said that there was going to be a porta potty on the sideline for Colorado. You were probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, Deion Sanders just had his whole bladder removed because he had bladder cancer. He's completely cancer-free now, though. But yeah, he said, if you see a porta potty on the sidelines this year, it's real. That's verging on the Zatarans voice. I'm looking for dogs, Scott. Okay, that was it for the for college football. The schedules and everything came out, so Penn State plays Ohio State on November 1st. Not looking forward to that. But the only other thing that I can think of that happened is Oregon's going to have a tie-dye uniform, like a Grateful Dead uniform this year. That's going to be pretty cool. Okay, for the NFL, we have a little bit more context on why Christian Wilkins was released. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but he likes to get a little bit touchy with people, apparently. But that's not the sole reason, obviously, with the whole foot injury thing that we went over last week. But he reportedly kissed a player on the forehead, and he did not take it well. And we all think that it's Aaron Butler because of these comments in a recent post-training camp interview.
Adam, there's obviously been a lot of controversy around the defensive line group after the release of Christian Wilkins. How have you seen your unit be able to leave that as just outside noise and hone in on your craft?
Yeah, we pretty much just kind of moved on from the situation. I really don't want to comment further on it. But I will say that, whatever you're going through as a person, athlete, non-athlete, whoever, whatever your struggle is, if you got something going on in life, just, talk to somebody. Get some therapy. Whatever your deal is your deal. Somebody out there in this world full of billions of people is willing to listen. They're willing to listen, hear you out, and help you work through whatever you need to work through. But don't don't make any hasty decisions. Get help.
The dude really told him to seek help if he's having gay thoughts. Get help. Like the Michael Jordan meme.
Stop it. Get some help.
But yeah, one rumor that was going around on Twitter was that he took off people's shoes and tickled their feet in like at the bottom of dog piles, which is not proven wrong, but it's hilarious. I don't think it actually happened though. That would be so funny if it did though. Okay, and this is coming out on Friday. After, since I'm recording this after the deadline, well, right up to the deadline, it's 5:30 right now on Thursday. The Hall of Fame game is tonight between the Chargers and the Lions. I'm obviously going to watch the whole thing, even though it's preseason football. I need it in my veins right now. Oh my God. It's been forever, and just literally any semblance of the sport, even if it's sloppy play, and I don't care about the Lions backups or the Chargers backups. I'm not looking at their special teams, who makes special teams, but it's football, and I will watch. I actually really can't wait for the Patriots' first preseason game. The offense has been back and forth at training camp, which is a lot better than just bad at training camp, like the past 2 or 3 years have been. So there's some hope there. Diggs is looking good. Kyle Williams is looking really good for being, our second round or third round pick. Who else? The reviews have been mixed on Will Campbell so far, but that's to be expected. He's been going up against Keon White a lot, who is a monster. But he's been holding his own apparently in that one-on-one. So we'll see. Apparently the run game is very good. Jared Wilson is slotted in at starting left guard. Jared Wilson was I don't even know what round pick he was, but he was in this year's draft class, and he's already going to be starting at left guard probably. So that is a great sign. It seems like they got a steal. I really want to say 5th or 6th round that he was drafted in. So yeah, I'm ready to see this Vrabel-led team. It should have happened last year. Okay, on to the MLB. Everything that's not the trade deadline. So everything that's happened over the past week. We got to go over our Pirates, obviously. So for the Diamondback series, first game was a 1-0 shutout. And the roller coaster continues. But it was a 1-0 shutout where the Pirates had one hit in 11 innings. The game went to extra innings, and they only had one hit over 11 innings. I could not believe it. That was so fucking bad. Pirates, what are you doing? Game 2, they did win 2-0, which, 2 isn't going to carry every time. The offense was all on Cruz. I believe that happened in like the 2nd or 3rd inning, where Cruz hit his 17th home run of the year. And Andrew Heaney, put up another good start before the trade deadline. I haven't checked Twitter in the past 10 minutes here, so Heaney hasn't been traded yet, but he should be. I really don't know what Charrington's doing right now. We'll go over more of the trades, but so far he hasn't traded the rentals like Andrew Heaney, IKF, and then I believe we have someone else that probably should be traded. But yeah, I don't know what's happening. It's been a pretty shit trade deadline for the Pirates, going to be honest with you right now. But let's get back on track. Game 3 of the series was a skiing start, and he had 2 wins in 2 consecutive starts. Holy shit. That is the first time that's happened this season, and it's the first time that it's happened since September 9th of last year, and they won the game 6-0. This also lowered Skeen's ERA down to 1.83, and he put up his 22nd scoreless inning in a row, which was certainly a point of emphasis from last year. He let up so many first pitch home runs last year. It really did not make much sense why he kept throwing first pitch fastballs middle up on the first pitch, like every single start last year. I just really wanted to add this tidbit in from last week. This was before Skeen's last start. This is from Sarah Langs. The lowest ERA in 45 career starts since earned runs became official in both leagues. Ferdy Shupp, Ernie Shore, Paul Skeens, Rube Foster, and Reb Russell. Paul Skeens is the only one that's had and has a that's names on this list in the 21st century. The most recent one is Ferdy Shupp with a 1.64 ERA from 1913 to 1917. And that's over the course of 4 years. Skeens did it over the course of 1.5 and counting. And then this one has to do with the most consecutive starts to begin a season without allowing a first inning run in MLB history. Paul Skeens is tied with Reese Olson, who did it last year, with 22 consecutive first innings without a run. And he's about to do something that we haven't seen in almost 100 years, in over 100 years, since Bob Shockey had 27 in 1923. So, I mean, these are quite literally video game numbers that Skeens is putting up, and it's damn impressive. Zach Wheeler took a dump on Sunday and allowed 4 runs in the second inning, but still made it 5.2 innings to raise his ERA to 2.56, and that certainly helps Skeens in the Cy Young department, along with a win. They're really good for Skeens. Next up was the Giants, and you know, we've been talking about the Giants since the Devers trade happened. And oh my God, Pittsburgh must hate the Wisenhuts, huh? In Game 1, Carson Wisenhut started. No relation to Ken Wisenhut, who was the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. But in looking up how to spell their last name, I learned that Ken Wisenhut's son was arrested for sexual conduct with a minor. The Pirates were late night bucking, and they won Game 1 6-5. David Bednar gave up his first run in 24 appearances, though, but was still 17 for 17 on save appearances on the season. So in the turnaround for Game 2, the Pirates won 3-1 behind 12 hits. I'm surprised they did not score more runs, but they're the Pirates, so they obviously left men on base. To the Giants, 2 hits. Braxton Ashcraft is the real deal, and I said this too early. If Bednar gets dealt, Dennis Santana can close it out. Oh my God, that's 4 wins in a row for the Pirates. And then making a sweep for the Pirates in San Francisco as they won 2-1 in 10 innings on Wednesday before the deadline. 5 straight wins. The Giants are 13-24, and the Red Sox are 20-15 since the Devers trade after getting swept 2 series in a row. The Giants did. The Giants are reeling right now, and they must be just egg in their face, right? I've been saying it since the trade happened. I'm on the Red Sox side for getting rid of Devers. No one believed me. I mean, I even tweeted out, I've been ripping on the Giants for trading Devers on the podcast, and it's just really nice to see them continue to struggle at the hands of the Bucks. And this guy replied to me, "You're an idiot." And I just replied, "Giants are 13-21 since trading for Devers." Cry. And he said, "Not because of Devers, casual." And I said, the Red Sox are 19-15 since getting rid of Devers at that point. Love poking him a little bit. Love pissing him off just a little bit. So, yeah, that's what's been up with the Pirates over the past week. Now let's get into the rest of the league. Nick Kurtz went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 19 total bases last Friday night. That makes him the youngest player to ever hit 4 home runs, the first rookie to do so, and it's the 20th 4 home run game in MLB history. He actually had a double that hit off the wall right below the Crawford boxes in Houston. So he almost had 5. It was kind of insane. This is also the 9th occurrence of 6 runs being scored in a game, which makes it even more rare than a 4 home run game. He tied the record for most total bases in a game with Shawn Green, which happened in 2002 before Nick Kurtz was even born. This is arguably the best game in MLB history because he had 1 more RBI than Shawn Green did. And it was really funny because in their next game against the Astros, Mauricio Dubon rubbed down Kurtz after he made it to first base and then rubbed himself. So, Emmanuel Class has gotten himself caught up in the betting scandal that got Luis Ortiz earlier in the month and is on non-disciplinary leave until August 31st, which means that he was off the trading block. There was probably a high possibility that they would have traded him. But this actually had so much context to his video showing off his regular season awards after getting shelled by the Yankees in the playoffs last year. He was like, "Oh, look at me! I have all my all my awards, and I have all my money that I won because I bet on myself to blow this thing." So yeah, I don't know what's going on in Cleveland, but I guess betting is the only thing for all the players to do. I bet you they shut the fuck up when Manfred visited their locker room. But Bryce Harper reportedly got nose to nose with Rob Manfred and told him to get the fuck out of the clubhouse if he was there to talk about a salary cap, and said that players were willing to give up a full 162. Half the players in the league wouldn't be able to miss out on a full 162, and that's the problem, Bryce. So I guess the NFL and NBA are working on barely livable wages since they have a salary cap. At $25 million a year, Bryce Harper would be the 45th highest player in the NFL, and in the NBA, he would be 70th. 70th! These players need to understand what a cap actually does instead of being a hothead for no fucking reason. It would help everyone to get paid more and not even really affect the top earning players that much. There might be a cap on the year amount of the contracts, but not the money. If the years go down, the money goes up. What does Bryce Harper not get about this? Also, the convenient thing that people left out initially is that Manfred said right back, "No, I will not get the fuck out of here." You can't just talk to the commissioner like that. And like, I'd fully expect a fine for conduct detrimental or something along those lines. Getting right up in the face of the person who has all of the owner's power on his side is a pretty bold move, and it's one that would probably backfire pretty quick. Someone brought up a good point that the owners now, a lot of them aren't single owners. They're investment groups. So they can wait out these players. A whole conglomerate of people, yeah, they have the power to just sit there and wait for it to fold to their demands. It's not, it's really that simple. But what's even more mind-numbingly stupid to me is that this isn't only pitting players against the owners. This is pitting fan bases against other fan bases. Just one glance at the comments of the Bryce article on our MLB and our Buccos, the Pirates subreddit, and you'll realize there's an issue right away. Fans are almost always on the player's side, and not with this. If you want a salary cap, why does that put you on the owner's side? That doesn't make much sense to me. It will benefit the majority of the league. Sure, owners will get richer, but so will players as a whole. So for a salary cap to induce this much hate between fans of, for example, Pittsburgh and Philly, doesn't make any sense to me. If there isn't more balance in the sport and teams continue to spend money more and more while the bottom spends less than $100 million annually, then MLB will die sooner rather than later because it's just not interesting. Why watch the regular season at all if it's painful for a third of the league's fans? Well, this still happens in the NFL. Just look at the Chiefs and Patriots over the last 25 years. Being mad at the Chiefs or Patriots because they are/were good in the structure of a fair salary cap, and being mad at the Dodgers or Mets because they can outspend everyone are two completely different things. Now, if you went back a little farther to the 49ers winning when there was no salary cap, then I might agree with you. Like the Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman Dodgers are like the modern day Joe Montana, Jerry Rice 49ers. But it's so much different today in the league than when the 49ers won 4 championships. Okay, real quick, let's look at the standings before we get into the rest of the trades here. So, Toronto is leading, actually tied with the Tigers for the best record in the league. They are 64 and 46. Oh, no, sorry. The Brewers have the best record in the league at 64 and 44, 593 winning percentage to 582 winning percentage. Holy shit, I did not realize the Brewers were on fire like that. Yankees are behind them. Red Sox are right behind the Yankees. Like I said, the Tigers tied with the Blue Jays for the best record in the American League at the very least. Guardians are 9 games behind them. They're lagging behind. No wonder they're going to be selling off people. Astros. The Astros are 62 and 47, and they just made a great trade that will probably, just for the morale boost, I think it will lead them to a good postseason run. Seattle and the Texas Rangers are tied for second place behind the Astros. They're 5 games behind at 57 and 52. In the National League, we got the Mets leading the NL East. Phillies are half a game behind them. Mets are 62-47. Phillies are 61-47. The Brewers have the best record in the league, like I said, but the Cubs are 1 game behind them. They're actually going back and forth. I believe their series just ended, so the Brewers got them in that series. The Reds are 57-52 as well, so they might be up there for a wild card spot. They're actually right behind the Padres right now. In the NL West, we got the Dodgers leading 63-46. Padres are 3 games behind at 60-49, but they just made some great moves that I already know of, so that should maybe even the gap a little bit. Giants are free falling. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. Like I said earlier, lost 6 straight, 3 of those being to the Pirates. And yeah, it's like let's go over the wild card. So the Yankees and the Red Sox have the top 2 wild card positions right now, and the Mariners and Rangers are in there, 57-52. And then there's only 3 wild card teams that make it, so there might be a playing game there right now if the season were to end today. And the Reds are actually 4th in the wild card race, 3 games behind the Padres. So yeah, they're still fighting for it. They just got Hayes to anchor their lineup. I don't know. Well, let's not go over the trades yet. Wait, spoiler. But yeah, I believe that's it for the non-trade news. Did I have any miscellaneous here? No, I didn't have any. No miscellaneous. Okay. Let's get into these trades. All right, now that the deadline's over, let's go over everything. I'm not going to go over every single trade. Not a lot, I'm not going to go over like Phil Maton from the Rangers to the Cardinals. That doesn't really matter in the whole scheme of things. I don't think either are going to make the playoffs this year. But yeah, not much happened until Wednesday and Thursday this year. So I'm going to go through this by team, basically according to the standings. So let's start out with the Blue Jays. They get relief pitcher Sir Anthony Dominguez, who was traded from the Orioles in the middle of a doubleheader, so he just walked to the other side of the clubhouse. I thought that was really cool.
This was in between innings. Sir Anthony walking out, enjoying the view in blue, and then getting razzed by his former teammates. Keegan Aikens holding out 3 fingers going, "What are you doing here in the 3rd?"
Oh, it's funny.
I don't think I've never seen that before. And then they also traded for Shane Bieber from the Guardians, but they had to give up their number 5 pitching prospect, Cal Steven. Shane Bieber's just coming off the IL soon, so he just made a couple rehab starts, I think, and he's been doing pretty well. I believe he had like 8 strikeouts in 4 innings or something like that the last time he was out. On to the Yankees. Ryan McMahon was one of the first ones to be traded this past week from the Rockies, so they get a pretty good defender, but the hitter, he has really bad stats outside of Rocky Stadium. So I don't know about this one, but I guess he's doing all right with the Yankees so far. And then they also got Camilo Doval from the Giants, a relief pitcher. So they're definitely shoring up their bullpen. They better after last year's debacle in the World Series. Okay, on to the Red Sox. They get another arm for their rotation. This one was surprising. I don't know the return for a lot of these. I'm just going to go because they're probably just all prospects. And those prospects I don't really know and I don't really care about unless they play for the Pirates. So, yeah, Dustin May to the Red Sox from the Giants. I think this will help out the Red Sox immensely, and he should fit in well there. He already knows Walker Buehler. The Rays got Griffin Jacks from the Twins. Detroit got Charlie Morton from the Orioles. I thought that was surprising. Charlie Morton, ground Chuck. And speaking of Chuck, the Royals traded for Randall Grichuk from the Diamondbacks. So the Twins, the Orioles, and the Diamondbacks are all kind of blowing it up here a little bit. Surprising move by the Astros. They brought back Carlos Correa from the Twins, and it's going to be – that's what I was talking about earlier with the momentum just from this trade happening. Everyone's going to be happy that he's back, I bet. Oh, holy shit. In that Twins trade of Carlos Correa to the Astros, they're including $33 million remaining of his $103 million contract. Holy shit. What, what the hell? What was he doing in Minnesota? Did he want to just get the hell out of there? I don't know. The Twins wanted him gone. That's a lot of money to pay. Holy shit. Mariners, big movers in the trade market here. They also made a pretty early trade early on this week. First baseman Josh Naylor went from the Diamondbacks to the Mariners, and he is a power hitter. Oh, he's chunky. But then the big trade that happened Wednesday into Thursday night at midnight, the Mariners and Diamondbacks pulled off their second trade of the week, this time for Eugenio Suarez for Seattle's number 9 first baseman, number 16 right-hand pitcher, number 17 right-hand pitching prospects. Holy fleece. I know the years of control might have come into play here, but Suarez has 36 home runs, the most for a player traded at the deadline ever. In fact, he's been a top 6 hitter in baseball by weighted runs created plus since the 2024 All-Star break, thanks to Mike Petriello for that tidbit. So the Mariners are serious about this. They want to do some damage this year, and they want to at least make the playoffs. Next up, we go into the NL East with the Mets. The Mets get Tyler Rogers, relief pitcher Tyler Rogers, the submariner from the Giants, and they paid a hefty price to get him. This is probably the biggest overpay so far. The Mets gave up right-hand pitching prospect Jose Budo, outfielder Drew Gilbert, and outfielder Blade Tidwell. People were saying that that's what the return for Keller would have been if they traded Keller to the Mets. So to get all that for a relief pitcher, one that I don't know if they figure out the submariner, he doesn't throw that hard. I think he might be a little bit volatile, but he's been pretty good this whole time he's been in the league. But they also get Ryan Helsley to help out the bullpen from the Cardinals for Baez, Dome, and Eliasalt. I don't know who those people are. Like I said, the return doesn't really matter for a lot of people because not even I know who these guys are. And then they also, to shore up the lineup, they traded for Cedric Mullins from the Orioles, another Orioles player down on the board there. Okay, on to the Phillies. First, big name to go, I think, in free agent or in the trade market. Yohan Duran was sent to the Phillies from the Twins for number 92 prospect Mick Abel and number 56 prospect Eduardo Tate. This is a great return. 2 top 100 prospects for a reliever. They also get Harrison Bader from the Twins. So, that may as well have been a package deal. The Brewers got Danny Jansen from the Blue Jays. The Cubs today got Willie Castro from the Twins. Oh, shit, I got caught up in the Twins trading away all their players, and I forgot to add this most important trade. This is the team that it keeps on winning the trade deadline, and AJ Preller is on crack. Boom. There's the biggest trade so far. Mason Miller and J.P. Sears to the Padres from the A's for Leo Dallas DeVries, the number 3 overall prospect in baseball. Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano are also going to the Padres from the Orioles. How do they keep getting away with it? It is insane. All of these winning the trade deadlines has to translate to postseason success at some point. So yeah, the Twins ended up trading away 5 key players in their lineup in this trade deadline. And the Orioles were blowing it up too, like I said, along with the Diamondbacks. And speaking of blowing it up, you might have realized right off the bat with the Yankees that I was leaving out some of these trades because they were all of the ones that had to deal with the Pirates. For the most part, these are all in chronological order. The first major trade the Pirates made was sending Ke'Bryan Hayes to the Reds for 20-year-old Sammy Stafura, who was the Reds' number 9 prospect, who slots in at number 7 for the Pirates. Now, I know not all number 9 prospects in the system are equal, but you can 100% argue that the return for Ke'Bryan was better than Suarez because it included an established reliever and not 2 lottery ticket arms. Until the deadline, that established reliever was Taylor Rogers, who was having a decent season. And I said it was nice to have a lefty in the pen, but he's old. He is 34. They flipped him to the Cubs For their number 8 prospect, outfielder Ivan Breathauer, with there should be an E there in between the W and the R, who is 22 and he's slashing 221, 398, 312 in A+ ball. What in the absolute fuck? How is he the number 8 prospect in any system? The second trade, in chronological order, sent Caleb Ferguson to the Mariners for 19-year-old Jeter Martinez, their number 22 prospect. The acquisition of Rogers, I said at that point, initially made more sense now that they got rid of a lefty in the bullpen, but now they don't have like any lefties in the bullpen after flipping Rogers. Jeter Martinez apparently has really good stuff, but he can't throw strikes to save his life. Then, the big one that hurts so much. David Bednar to the Yankees today on Thursday for their number 8 prospect in a bad farm system in Rafael Flores, a 24-year-old catcher / first baseman. Number 14, 19-year-old catcher Edglin Perez, and 20-year-old outfielder Brian Sanchez, who is top 30 on Baseball America's list, but not MLB's Pipelines list. So, what is this bullshit? Flores was just promoted to AAA and is hitting .211, but was the minor league player of the year last year in AA. Edglin Perez has a .236 slugging percentage in Single A. And Sanchez is in Single A as well, but he's the only one with decent stats this year. I don't understand how the return for Bednar wasn't similar to Yohan Duran. Bringing back 2 top 100 prospects from the Twins, or to the Twins. They have pretty much the same stats this year, but Duran has been a little bit better over the past 4 seasons since his debut. But it's not significant enough to warrant getting dog shit for Bednar and 2 fucking top 100 prospects for Duran. Was Philly like desperate or something? Did they massively overpay for him? I truly don't get how even Charrington got swindled so bad on this one. You may as well have just DFA'd Bednar because none of those players will ever make the majors, and if they do, it will be a bench player in a bench player capacity. This is from Bucko Ball on Twitter. On offense, Flores slashed a cartoonish 279, 379, 495 in a season split between high A and double A, which is great for a small school undrafted guy in his second full pro season, but a little tougher to contextualize given his age and mature physicality. Flores has plus raw power, and he's able to create it in a fairly short mechanical distance. He crushes mistakes and is an explosive rotator, but he isn't a skillful hitter who's making contact all over the zone, as his swing is grooved middle and isn't in the hitting zone for very long. His contact data, 70% contact rate overall, only 76% inside the zone, is comfortably below average on the big league scale, and Flores performed that way as a 23-year-old in the mid-minors. This person says they have reservations about Flores' ability to make enough contact to access his power and think he'll be a volatile bat-first backup. You thought I was exaggerating. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Hell, if they get rid of Joey Bart after this year, then they might have to push him to be the backup to Henry Davis next year. And if he doesn't pick it up the rest of the year, that's going to look very bad, and they're going to have to actually spend money on a catcher. Who would they even spend it on? I don't know. God damn it. Renegade David Bednar, we will miss you. I'm sorry I shit-talked you at the beginning of the season, but your performance last year and that demotion to AAA early this year really tanked your value, and for that I hope you hear endless boos at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life.
Next up, and last up for some goddamn reason, Bailey Falter is going to the Royals. For left-hand pitcher Evan Sisk and first base prospect Callan Moss. What in the absolute fuck is Charrington doing? You kept Andrew Heaney instead of Bailey Falter. You didn't trade IKF. And they also didn't move Tommy Pham, who I enjoy being on the team, but why would you not move him? All of these guys are free agents at the season's end, and they are not going to re-sign them. They're absolutely not going to resign them unless they're the last free agents available. Come on. Ben Cherington needed to be fired when Derek Shelton went. They just got nothing. They got absolutely nothing at this trade deadline, and the team is worse off right now than it would have been in 2026 than if they had done absolutely nothing. I'm just so I'm sick of complaining about it at this point. Like, I should just hop back on the Red Sox bandwagon right now. I don't know what's going on. This is just like Jeff Passan tweeted out, "That was fun." No, it fucking wasn't. all of Pirates Twitter is just saying "fuck you" to Jeff Passan right now. It is pretty comical. But yeah, that trade deadline. I mean, the David Bednar trade might go down as one of the worst in Pirates history, worse than the Chris Archer trade. At least they got some major league service out of Chris Archer. They're not going to get any major league service out of any of the guys that they traded for Bednar. Jason Mackey even tweeted, like, was Ben Cherington trying to get fired? It certainly seems so. And I don't know, like, what, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm almost hysterical. Not hysterical right now, but like almost like this can't be real. This can't be fucking real. Whatever. Okay, last thing that I wanted to mention about baseball. The Hall of Fame inductees. Congratulations to Dick Allen, Dave Parker, CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, and Billy Wagner on their inductions to the Hall of Fame this past Sunday. We all knew that Ichiro was very funny, but he's been keeping it up.
And to the Miami Marlins, I appreciate David Sampson and Mike Hill for coming today. Honestly, when you guys called to offer me a contract for 2015, I have never heard of your team.
And then one of the reporters on MLB thanked him in Japanese, and Ichiro said back,
"Domo arigatou gozaimashita. Mata ashita. De nada."
Ichiro never changed. That's just gold. Oh, okay. I'm glad I scrolled Twitter here because we have one last piece of information. Terry McLaurin has just requested a trade from the Commanders. Patriots, do everything in your power to get him. Get him right now. Second rounder, I don't care. Second rounder in Kendrick Bourne, second rounder in Jalen Polk. Do it right now. Okay, everybody, that is it for this week. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hoagies and Pierogis is available on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram for clips throughout the week. And I want to thank you. I know it's probably just because I uploaded enough and not because of viewership numbers or anything, but the podcast has been monetized. If you notice, there have been ads on this, probably on this episode and the last episode. I know there were ads. So yes, please just make it through them. You can survive the 30 seconds. I only have it on single ad in the beginning, single ad at the end. And I might I'm going to turn off the mid-roll ad probably because there does not need to be an ad in the middle of in the middle of a 30-minute podcast. So everybody, thank you so much. And we're going to leave you with this. Munch. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host, Ian DiCarlo. This is Hoagies and Pierogis.